Good morning. Unit proportional relationship student handout number 6. Almost done with this unit. All right, today we're going to learn about fractional unit rates. So here's what we need to know about unit rates. A rate is I love this word right here. This is I can't say it. I'm not even going to try. All right, it is a comparison of two quantities. Unit rate is the value when the denominator is 1 or the amount per 1. 60 miles per hour, that's a unit rate because it's per 1 hour. It is the same value as the constant of proportionality and can be represented with fractions. Some examples are price per pound. We've kind of already worked in these, so it isn't necessarily anything new. Also, miles per gallon. Miles per hour. All right, so it said practice finding the unit rates for the following problems. Nick's fitness test. He can do 78 sit-ups in 2 minutes. So that is 78 sit-ups for every 2 minutes. Now, you just break that down. Yes, you basically divide by 2. That is correct. So you divide by 2, and it is 39 sit-ups per minute. In yellow, it simplifies into 39 over 1, but we don't need to put the over 1 part. The next one, 42 push-ups in 3 minutes. So we're trying to figure out the per minute push-ups. Because the minute per push-up, that don't even really, you could do that, but that really don't make sense, does it? It's be push-ups per minute. So it'd be 42 over 3. Yes, that is basically 32 divided by 3. And you're going to get 14 push-ups per minute. I don't know that I could do 14 push-ups per hour, but I am rather large. All right, the last one, 40 jumping jacks in 1 minute, so that is 40 over 1. Hey, guess what? It's already simplified. 40 jumping jacks per minute. What are those dots for? That's new. Anyways. All right. What did you notice about the unit rate? Here's what I want you to notice. I want you to know that the unit rate is per 1. So if somebody asks for the unit rate, they want it over 1. In the problems above, it was, what are those dots? Y'all see them? Oh, it's trying to correct it for me? Huh. Okay. Anyways. It is, let me finish writing that for you. In the problems above, It is per minute. 1 minute. All right. In order to work with fractional unit rate, you must be comfortable multiplying and dividing fractions. So, I'm going to work these by hand. I do not have a calculator. Yes, you are going to write how to do them by hand. But I also am going to give you a few seconds to type it into your calculator. Remember, it's the ABC button. All right, so go ahead and type that one into your calculator and see if you come up with the answer. Don't blurt it out, please. All right, I'm going to go ahead and start working it out. We have 1/2, 1 1/2 times 6. I'm going to convert that to an improper fraction. That's 2 times 1 plus the 1 on top is 3/2 times 6. Anytime we multiply a fraction, we got to make them over 1. Then I just multiply across. You get 18/2. That simplifies into 9/1, which just is 9. Your calculator should have spit 9 back at you. Go ahead and I'm going to leave that right there, and I'm going to pause it. You go ahead and do 2 through 4 in your calculator. Pausing now. All right, welcome back. You should have gotten, for number 2, 5/12. For number 4, you should have gotten 2 5/8. And for number 3, you should have gotten 2/3. But I am going to work them out just so you see it, and you are going to write it. We're dividing, so we're going to keep, and we're going to change it to multiplication, and we're also going to flip it. But let's go ahead and get these in improper fractions first. 2 times 2 is 4, plus the 1 on top is 5/2, divided by 6. We're going to KFC that, KCF. So we're going to keep. We're going to change. And we're going to flip. So that's 6/1. So it's going to become now, it's going to become 1/6. Going to end up with 5/12. That is what the answer was. How do you enter this into your calculator? When you're entering a mixed number in your calculator, you would hit 2, then you would hit the ABC button, and then you would put your numbers there. So you go 2, ABC, blah, blah, blah. All right, number 3 is multiplication. So go ahead and convert it to a mix. That's 2 times 3 plus the 2 on top. That is 8/3 times 1/4 equals 8 times over 12. Both of those will divide by 4, and you're left with 2/3, which is what we said. Earthquake! All right, number 4. Turn it into an improper fraction first. That would become 4 times 1 plus a 3 on top becomes 7/4. Keep, change, flip. 7/4 times 3/2, 21/8. 8 will go into 21 2 times without going over. That makes 16. 21 minus 16 is 5/8, which is what we said. Earthquake! All right, backside. The fitness test results of other students are shown below. Determine their unit rates. All right, so we have 1.5 miles in 15 minutes. So how are we going to figure that out? Well, it's asking us to fill in the chart. So the X, what is the X in 15 minutes? That's basically another word to say per. So per, whatever the per is, minutes here, okay, that's going to be the bottom. The bottom is X because it's Y over X. So 15 minutes is the X. The Y is 1.5 miles. The Y over X is 1.5, which is also 3 over 2. Your calculator doesn't take mixed numbers if we ain't figured that out yet. 3 over 2 over 15. If you enter that in your calculator, which you're more than welcome to do, that will give you the unit rate. If you do not have a calculator, you'll have to go 3 2s divided by 15 over 1. Well, that is a keep change flipper, okay? So you end up with 3 2s times 1 over 15, which gives you 3/30. 3 will go into 30 one time. 3 will 10 times. 3 will go into 3 one time. So the answer would be 1/10. So your calculator also would have told you 1/10. It may also said 0.1. I don't know. If it said 0.1, that is 1/10. So it is 1/10 of a mile per minute. That is an abbreviation in red. I don't expect you to know that. So if you just want to write mile per minute, let's just stick to writing miles per minute. Yeah, let's just stick to that. All right, just to clarify, where did I get that 3 over 2 over 15 when it was 1 1/2? 1 1/2 is 3 over 2. Because it is 1 whole, which is 2 out of 2, plus another 1, which is 3 over 2. All right. Next one. We have 2 miles and 12 minutes. The X is minutes. So let's go ahead and do the last one while we're working on it. The Y is 2 miles. The next one is 2 1/3 mile. Let's go ahead and convert that to an improper fraction. So we put it in our calculator. 3 times 2 is 6, plus the 1 on top is 7 over 3. All right. Now we have 2 miles over 12 miles. Oh, that one's easy. 1/6. So he's going to go 1/6 mile per minute. All right, the last one, 7/3 over 20 minutes. Enter 7/3, divide by 20, because that over means to divide. 7/3 divided by 20. Enter that in your calculator. And your calculator may spit a decimal out to you, or it may give you the fraction. The fraction is 7/60 of a mile per minute. Now, if I'm asking you who is going the fastest, can you tell me from their unit rate? No, not really, because I don't know if 1/10 is larger than 1/6. I have to put them in the same form or the same denominator or the same numerator. I can tell you that 1/10 is less than 1/6. So he's going slower, but I don't know about 7/60ths. So one way to do that is to convert them all to decimals, to divide 1 by 10 in your calculator. And if you did that, if you divided 1 by 10 in your calculator, it's going to give you 0.10. If you divided 1 by 6, I really don't know what it's going to give you, but I'll figure it out real quick. It's going to give you 0.16 repeating. And then if you did 7 divided by 60 in your calculator, you're going to get 0.116. So which guy is traveling the fastest? The middle one. He's going further every minute. All right, number 5, Gabby. Yep, our own Gabby Adams. She was measuring 5.5 pounds of almonds at the grocery store. At the checkout, the total cost was $20.90. What is the price per pound? So she bought 5.5 pounds. So we don't have to keep this as a fraction. You can turn that into a decimal as long as you have a calculator. You can turn that into decimal. We all know that half is 0.5, so we can turn that into 5.5. I'm okay with that. We know that she bought, or the total cost was $20.90. So this was the price, and it asked per pound. The per goes on. Let me go back. Let me write my 5.5 and leave that pounds. All right. The per pound goes on what? Bottom, because it's X over Y, per. Because per is the 1. The 1 is going to end up on the bottom where Y is. Or X is, excuse me. Well, X is. Lord have mercy, coach. All right. So that is going to be on the bottom of your little division sign there. Well, obviously, what's going to be on top? $20.90. How do I know which one to divide first? The one on top goes into your calculator first. Okay? So you would enter $20.90 into your calculator divided by 5.5. And you are going to get 3.8. We're talking about money, so it's $3.80. Your calculator would have said 3.8. But we're talking about money because the price per pound. Earthquake. All right, number 6. A car travels 117 miles in 2.25 hours. How fast does the car travel? Again, if you don't like this, you can turn that into a decimal. How do I do that? Well, I know it's 2 wholes, right? And the fraction form is 1/4. Well, I can divide 1 divided by 4 in my calculator. Top number divided by the bottom number. Because a fraction basically can be division. So 1 divided by 4. And when you get that, you're going to get 0.25. Don't forget to add your whole back to it, okay? Because it was 2 wholes and 0.25. So I am going to go ahead and convert that to a decimal, and I'm going to convert it to 0.25. To 0.25. A car travels 117 miles in 2.25 hours. So how do I figure out how fast it travels? Well, we know that cars travel miles per hour. So hours go on the what? The bottom. And then obviously miles goes on top. Top number goes in your calculator first. So you're just going to put 117. You're going to hit the divide sign by 2.25. And what are you going to get? You're going to get 52. Now, that's not the answer. That's just what your calculator is going to say. 52 what? You got to tell me what we're talking about. And we're talking about miles per hour. since we all know the abbreviation for miles per hour is mph, I want you to use that. Okay? A baker's dozen of cookies is on sale for $4.94. A dozen is 12. A baker's dozen means the baker was nice and he gave you an extra one, so it's 13. So a dozen is 12, a baker's dozen is 13. Baker was nice, he gave you an extra. So a baker's dozen is on sale for $4.94. What is the cost of a cookie? All right, so how do we figure out which one goes on top and which one we divide by? Cost per cookie. So the cookies go on bottom. The per goes on bottom. So it's $4.94 divided by 13. You're going to enter that in your calculator, 4.94 divided by 13, and it's going to give you, your calculator is going to tell you 0.38. We're talking about money, so we have to write the answer with a money sign and a zero like that. You're going to pay 38 cents per cookie. And the last one, at the fabric store, Marlisa spends $9 on 1/8 yard of a fabric. How much does 1 yard of fabric cost? So when we're talking about price, it's price per whatever we're talking about, and we're talking about yards. So the yards is on bottom, 1 1/8, and then 9 on top. Now, this one we're going to leave in fraction form, but to enter it into your calculator, you really can't do it like that. You have to convert it to a mix. So you're going to go 8 times 1 is 8, plus the 1 left over makes it 9/8. So in your calculator, you can do this. You can go 9 divided ABC, 9/8. And you are going to get 8. Now, we're talking about money, so it is $8 per yard. I did not write. You need to go back and write per cookie, because I forgot to write that. And per pound was up at the top. I forgot to write what we were talking about. You could have turned 1 1/8 into a decimal. I do want to talk about that real quick. Again, 1 was your whole number, and then you would have did 1 divided by 8 in your calculator, which would have gave you 0.125. Add that 1 whole back, and you would have got 1.125. So you could have turned that into a decimal. Those are the same thing. All right, that's all the fat guy in the back road. I'll see you on the flip side. Adios, amigos.